Every day your dog is sending you messages, not through words, not through barking, and not through the dramatic behaviors most people pay attention to. The messages are quieter than that. A glance across the room, a yawn during a conversation, a paw resting gently on your arm. A slow blink, a sudden turn of the head, a decision to sit beside you instead of somewhere else. Most owners see these moments. Very few understand them, and that is a problem, because when we misunderstand these signals, we often misunderstand our dogs. We assume they are being stubborn when they are actually trying to avoid conflict. We assume they are tired when they are actually feeling pressure. We assume they want attention when they may be seeking reassurance. The hidden question behind all of this is simple. What is your dog trying to tell you every day, and why do so many owners miss it? By the end of this video, you will see your dog's behavior through a completely different lens, because the truth is not that dogs communicate less than humans. The truth is that dogs communicate constantly. Most of us simply do not speak their language. The common belief. Most people believe communication begins when a dog does something obvious: a bark, a growl, a whine, a jump, a wagging tail. These behaviors are impossible to ignore. They grab our attention immediately. So naturally, many owners assume these are the primary ways dogs communicate. But animal behavior experts have discovered something fascinating. The most important communication often happens before any of those behaviors appear. Long before a dog barks, it may have already sent several signals. Long before a dog growls, it may have tried multiple times to communicate discomfort. Long before a dog reacts, it may have been quietly asking for space. The problem is not that dogs fail to communicate. The problem is that humans tend to notice only the loudest messages. Imagine having a conversation with someone who ignores every sentence you say until you start shouting. That is surprisingly similar to what happens between many dogs and their owners. And this raises an important question. If dogs are communicating, long before barking or growling begins, what are those early signals actually telling us? The answer starts with one of the most misunderstood behaviors in the canine world. The first signal. Most owners misread. Picture this. You are talking to your dog. Maybe you are training. Maybe you are asking for a command. Maybe you are introducing your dog to a new person, and suddenly your dog yawns. Most people immediately think the same thing. My dog must be tired. It sounds reasonable. After all, humans yawn when they are sleepy. But canine behavior research tells a much more interesting story. Experts have observed dogs yawning in situations where sleep has nothing to do with it. Dogs yawn during training sessions. Dogs yawn at veterinary clinics. Dogs yawn around unfamiliar people. Dogs yawn during tense social interactions. Why? Because yawning can function as what behaviorists call a calming signal. A way for a dog to reduce tension. A way to communicate peaceful intentions. A way to regulate stress. In simple terms, your dog may be saying, I am feeling a little uncomfortable. I do not want conflict. I am trying to stay calm. Suddenly the behavior means something completely different. What looked like boredom may actually be communication. What looked like tiredness may actually be emotional information. And here is the fascinating part. Many owners accidentally increase pressure during these moments. They continue pushing the interaction because they never realized the dog was already speaking. But yawning is only one piece of the puzzle. There is another signal that owners see almost every day, and many interpret it in exactly the wrong way. The look away. Imagine calling your dog's name. Your dog looks directly at you, then turns its head away. Maybe it looks at the floor, maybe it looks to the side, maybe it avoids eye contact altogether. Many owners become frustrated. They assume the dog is ignoring them. Some even believe the dog is being stubborn. But canine psychology suggests something very different. In the human world, eye contact often signals attention and respect. In the canine world, prolonged staring can sometimes create pressure. Among dogs, direct staring may be interpreted as intense or confrontational depending on the situation. That means looking away can actually be a peaceful gesture, a social signal. A way of reducing tension, a way of saying, I am not looking for trouble. I want this interaction to stay calm. I am trying to keep things comfortable. What appears disrespectful to humans may actually be polite behavior in dog language. And once you understand this, something remarkable happens. You begin noticing how often dogs communicate through tiny adjustments in body language, a slight turn of the head, a shift in posture, a brief glance, a subtle movement. These signals may seem insignificant, but together they form an entire communication system. And there is one signal that reveals something even deeper about the relationship between dogs and humans. The paw almost. Every dog owner has experienced this moment. You are sitting quietly, watching television, reading a book, working on your computer, and suddenly a paw lands gently on your arm or leg. At first it seems obvious. The dog wants attention. Sometimes that is exactly what it means, but not always. Behavior experts believe this simple gesture can carry several different messages. Dogs are deeply social animals. Relationships matter to them. Connection matters to them. Being close to trusted individuals matters to them. A paw can become a form of social contact, a way of maintaining connection, a way of checking in, a way of strengthening a bond. Sometimes the message is, pay attention to me. Sometimes it is, I want interaction. Sometimes it is, I need comfort. And sometimes it is simply, I want to feel connected to you. Think about how powerful that realization is. Many owners assume every behavior is about getting something. Food, play, attention, but some behaviors are not requests. They are relationship signals. And this leads us to a surprising discovery from canine research. Because your dog may be paying far more attention to your emotions than you realize. Your dog is watching you more than you think. Most people believe they are the observers. They watch their dog. They monitor behavior. They interpret reactions. But research suggests the observation often goes both ways. Dogs are incredibly skilled at reading humans. Studies have shown that dogs pay attention to facial expressions. They notice changes in tone of voice. They observe body posture. They monitor movement patterns. They detect emotional shifts. In some experiments, dogs responded differently depending on whether a person appeared happy, angry, relaxed, or distressed. This ability did not appear overnight. Dogs have spent thousands of years evolving alongside humans. Over generations, they became exceptionally good at reading us. In many ways, understanding humans became a survival advantage, and this creates an extraordinary reality. Your dog may notice emotional changes before other people do. Long before you tell anyone you are stressed, your dog may already know. Long before you admit you are anxious, your dog may be responding. Long before you realize your mood has shifted, your dog may have adjusted its behavior. This helps explain something countless owners experience. Their dog suddenly becomes more attentive, more affectionate, more protective, more interested in staying close. At first, these behaviors seem random, but they may actually be responses to emotional information your dog has detected. And this raises another fascinating question. If dogs are constantly reading us, how much of their behavior is actually a response to our behavior? The answer changes everything. The hidden conversation. Most owners think communication flows in one direction. Human to dog, commands, instructions, training, rules. We tell the dog what to do. The dog responds. That seems like communication, but it is only part of the story. The reality is much deeper. Healthy relationships with dogs are ongoing conversations, not conversations built from words, conversations built from signals. Every day your dog gathers information. Every day your dog responds to information. Every day your dog communicates information. The exchange never stops. When you walk into a room, your dog notices. When your energy changes, your dog notices. When your routine changes, your dog notices. When your emotions change, your dog notices, and then your dog responds. Sometimes through movement. Sometimes through proximity. Sometimes through body language. Sometimes through behaviors so subtle they are almost invisible. Most owners never realize how much communication is happening beneath the surface. But there is something even more important. Because understanding these signals is not only about interpreting behavior, it is about understanding emotion. What these signals really reveal. Many people ask a simple question. What does my dog want? But often that is the wrong question. A better question might be, what is my dog feeling? Because behavior is often the visible expression of an emotional state. A yawn may reveal stress, a look away may reveal a desire for peace, a paw may reveal a need for connection. Following you from room to room may reveal trust. Choosing to rest near you may reveal security. Checking on you repeatedly may reveal concern. The behavior itself matters, but the emotion behind the behavior matters even more. And this is where many owners experience a profound shift. They stop seeing isolated actions. They start seeing emotional communication. Suddenly their dog feels less like a pet performing behaviors, and more like an individual expressing feelings. That perspective changes everything. Because once you begin recognizing emotional signals, you start noticing them everywhere. The signals you may have missed. Think about the last week. How many times did your dog glance at you before making a decision? How many times did your dog choose to sit near you? How many times did your dog quietly follow you? How many times did your dog check where you were? How many times did your dog seek physical contact? Most owners never count these moments, yet they happen constantly, and together they tell a story about trust, a story about attachment, a story about emotional connection. The remarkable thing is that dogs rarely communicate in dramatic ways unless subtle communication has failed. The quiet signals come first. The loud signals come later, which means learning to recognize subtle communication can improve your relationship dramatically. You become more responsive. Your dog becomes more understood. And understanding creates trust. The perspective shift now. Think back to the beginning of this video. The glance, the yawn, the paw, the look away. At first they seemed ordinary, maybe even meaningless. But now they look different. Because now you understand something most owners never realize. These behaviors are not random. They are communication. Not human communication. Dog communication. A language built from body movements, emotional signals, and social behaviors. A language your dog uses every single day. The amazing part is that your dog has probably been speaking this language for years. The messages were always there. The signals were always there. The conversation was always happening. The only thing missing was understanding. Conclusion. Most owners spend years waiting for their dog to communicate something important. Without realizing, the important messages were being delivered all along. In a glance across the room, in a quiet yawn during a stressful moment, in a gentle paw resting on a leg, in a brief look away, in the simple decision to stay close. These signals may seem small, but together they reveal something extraordinary. Trust, comfort, stress, security, connection, and the emotional bond your dog shares with you. The biggest lesson is this: your dog is not communicating less than you thought. Your dog is communicating far more than you ever imagined. The question was never whether your dog had something to say. The question was whether we knew how to listen. And once you learn to recognize these signals, you stop seeing random behaviors. You start seeing conversations. You start seeing emotions. You start seeing your dog for who it truly is. Not just an animal living in your home, but a companion trying every day to connect with you in the only language it knows. If you enjoyed this video, tell us in the comments which signal your dog uses most often. And if you want to learn more about the hidden psychology behind canine behavior, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join us for the next fascinating journey into the mind of your dog.